Hey everyone, how's it going? Sorry about my lighting here. I had to go run a couple errands here, so I thought I'd go ahead and just do a live stream. I haven't talked to y'all in a little while. Haven't been doing many live streams. And I thought I would just get on here and do that, kind of update everybody with what's going on. Alright, so I'll wait a minute here to start with my story about meeting Jimmy Carter and Warren Sapp. Looks like we got a couple people showing up. How's it going? Alright, just getting on the road here. Good morning or afternoon or good evening, wherever you are in the world, depending on wherever you are in the world. So I saw on, I was on Twitter earlier and I saw Warren Sapp trending. He played football in the NFL, played for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and there's something going on with him. So he's trending on Twitter, and it reminded me of, well, the time I met him on an airplane. So I wanted to talk about that story, because people like hearing interesting stories, you know, that are like out of the Truman Show. So, well, I'm waiting for a few more people to show up. I'll just talk about a couple other things real quick. So, if you're new to my channel, I started this channel for fun a long time ago, but then I ended up using it to document and report being a targeted individual going through organized stalking and harassment. I've been through stuff that a lot of people, if they haven't been through this personally, just would have a tough time believing it. Until now, there's a lot of people being arrested, people at eBay being arrested for gang stalking, and a lot of different things happening. So, anyway, if you're new to my channel, go back through my videos. Start November of 2000. Okay, I'm back. All right. Well, who knows if this will start this video over from the beginning, like make this the beginning. But that happens a lot when I leave my house. I think it's just the phone losing connection with the home router and then switching over to satellite, whatever. So, all right. So anyway, I'm just running a couple errands. I have to go to the post office, which is normal. I go to the post office quite a bit, and they take part in organized stalking and harassment, and they use what's called directed conversation, where they will get, most likely from DHS fusion centers, will get your personal information, you know, because all of our communications are tracked and recorded and stored in mass data centers, and then that information is sent out to Department of Homeland Security fusion centers, and then the fusion centers send that information out to compartmentalized groups in all kinds of different areas in our lives. One of them being the post office. A lot of corporations that have contracts with FBI InfraGard. There's 400 of them on the Fortune 500 list that have contracts with InfraGard. So it's pretty embedded into our society. So anyway, the post office, they give me a hard time all the time. Every time I go in there, they'll pretend like they're being friendly in front of everybody else, but then they'll use my personal information to try to trigger me and do street theater skits, stuff like that. It's annoying. It's whatever. I've gotten used to it. I don't care. I mean, actually, no, I do care, but it's, I almost feel bad for those people that they have to just be puppets. So anyway, A lot of times what they'll do is, I've shipped close to 50,000, if not more, items out on eBay since I've started my business over the last 10 years. And, you know, I've become, I would say, a professional at shipping items. I know how it works. I know, you know, how long the post office takes, stuff like that, to get different packages, different places, first class, parcel, priority, medium mail, whatever. So I shipped out some movies, a lot of 72 movies, over 3 weeks ago. The buyer sends me a message, says, "Hey, I want my money back. These movies haven't arrived." I said, "I shipped them. Here's the tracking number." Shows they're still in Arizona after 3 weeks after I dropped them off. So this is the same post office that wants to send your votes, whoever you decide to vote for. They're saying they're going to send your vote and get it in on time so it can be counted, but they can't ship a box of media mail movies to somebody a couple states away. Yeah. So anyway, that's about $100 that I'm going to lose if this package doesn't show up to this person, and I have to refund them and then go through the whole process with the post office. So that's what I'm on my way to do right now. But I thought I'd tell this story about, so, all right, so we've got a few people here. I just wanted to talk about that before I told my story about meeting Jimmy Carter and Warren Sapp. And what made me think of it is, again, I was on Twitter this morning and I saw Warren Sapp is trending, and I clicked through it, you know, I looked through it a little bit, and I don't know, he got a new position as a coach or something like that. And I thought, you know what, I haven't done a live stream in a while. I'll say hi to everybody, let everybody know what's going on, tell a random story about my life. So, okay, some of you know that I was in the Air Force for over 14 years. 14 years, 3 months, and something days. And did a lot of traveling, did a lot of training. One of the things I did when I was in E3, which is in the Air Force, is a, I was in E4, which is a senior airman. And before you get your next promotion from senior airman to staff sergeant, you have to go to this school. It's called PME, Professional Management Education, otherwise known as Airman Leadership School. And I had my time in service, time in grade. I was ready to be promoted to staff sergeant, so requested the school date, got the school date, went to Airman Leadership School at McGee-Tyson Air Force Base in Knoxville, Tennessee. So I flew out, went through my training, close to a couple months, learned a bunch of different management skills, interpersonal relation skills, you know, different things like that, to manage troops, manage airmen, and be a good leader. That's why they call it Airman Leadership School. So made it through that, did well. I think I graduated with a high 90% average in the class. Got a t-shirt. You know, and then you get done with that, you get sent back home, and then you can get your promotion to staff sergeant. So did that. Got my orders to head back home from Knoxville, Tennessee to Fresno, California, where I lived, Clovis to be exact. And got to the airport in Knoxville, and go up to the counter, and the lady says, "Hey, there's There's a big storm in Texas. I was supposed to fly from Knoxville to Dallas, and then there's a direct flight from Dallas to Fresno, Dallas-Fort Worth to Fresno, California, on an MD-80 to be exact. So that flight got canceled because there was supposed to be some big storm in the Dallas area. Couldn't go that way. She said, we're gonna send you to Atlanta, and then you're gonna go from Atlanta to LA to Fresno. I was like, great, layovers, whatever. She goes, the good news is, I see you're on military orders. I think I was in my uniform. I rarely traveled in my uniform, but for some reason we did that day. Some lady paid for our food at the airport. We sat down, me and another guy that I graduated with. We sat down and got some food. And we went to pay, and the waiter said, "Hey, you guys are good. Some lady paid for it." And I was like, well, where is she? We want to thank her, and she's already gone. Okay, awesome. So I had somebody pay for a dinner, our lunch, and got upgraded to first class because I was on military orders. I thought, okay, this is an interesting day already. So she gives me my boarding pass, and it's like row 2, seat A, and I'm like, okay, this is literally the first time I've ever flown first class, so it's kind of awesome. So I go to get on the airplane. Instead of making a right after you get on the airplane, like I've done my entire life, I get to make a left and walk up to first class. Got these huge seats, leathered seats with a monitor that flips out in front of your seat, and they recline, actually recline. And as I'm walking up to my seat, I see this really big guy. He's sitting there with us, and it was his daughter. And I was like, I recognize that guy. Where have I seen that guy before? That's Warren Sapp. These are the kind of people you sit with in first class. And then across the aisle from Warren Sapp is a guy in a dark suit with a little curly Q thing in his ear, like the Secret Service wear. I was like, damn, Warren Sapp's got some security. I'm sitting there trying to kind of process all this information. It'd been a late night before. We stayed out and celebrated, graduating Airman Leadership School. I'm sitting there and I look out the window and I see a bunch of black Suburbans and police cars and like an entourage, kind of like the president would have. And I'm trying to connect all this, and I'm like, okay, there's no way that Warren Sapp showed up in a bunch of, with an entourage of Suburbans and police cars and all this stuff. There's a Secret Service looking guy sitting right next to him, across the aisle from him. They're both on they've got a PSP, and they're playing Tiger Woods golf. They're sitting right in front of me so I can see what they're doing. Playing golf. And as I'm sitting there, kind of groggy, like I said, still from the night before, trying to figure out, like, what the hell's going on here? Jimmy Carter walks around the corner. In front of first class, there's a little area between first class and the pilot on that particular plane. Jimmy Carter walks around the corner into our aisle, and he doesn't even say anything to the Secret Service guy or Warren Sapp. Like maybe he's already talked to them, or I don't know what the deal is. But he walked right past them. He walked up to me. I was at the window aisle, and there was somebody sitting next to me. He ignored the person sitting next to me, and he walked up to me and he said, "Hey son, I just wanted to thank you for your service." And he reached out and he shook my hand. shook his hand and I said, "Thank you, Mr. President. It's good to meet you. I appreciate that." You know, I was kind of caught off guard. What else do you say? And then he walked back. He didn't talk to anybody else. He walked back and sat in coach. So I asked the guy, the Secret Service guy, I was like, "Man, what's the deal here? What's going on? Why did Jimmy Carter just walk around the corner and go back and sit in coach?" And he goes, "Oh, he gave up his first class seat and went back and sat in coach so somebody else could have his seat." I was like, wow, that's kind of interesting. So I don't know if he gave his seat to Warren. I would imagine his seat was where Warren Sapp would be sitting, the very first row across from the Secret Service agent. That would make sense. But it was just a really odd, one of those one more Truman Show type event in my life that I got to experience. And that's the end of the story. Got to Atlanta, got off the plane, flew to LA, went home, got promoted to staff sergeant. That's it. That's the whole story. So anyway, all right. Well, hey, I'm just about to the post office here. I don't know if I'm going to leave this this camera on. Every time I go to the post office, I have some kind of, like I said, street theater, weird stuff going on. They give me the runaround, telling me one thing when something else is going on. So. Since I have to wait in line, I'm sure there's going to be a huge line here at the old post office. So I'm in Goodyear, Arizona right now. I live in Avondale, and the town right next to us is called Goodyear. And this town actually, there was some interesting news coming from this town about organized stalking and harassment. They call it community policing. It's compartmentalized, so I think some of the people doing it are told, you know, hey, you're doing a service for your country. Meanwhile, they're going after journalists, whistleblowers, stuff like that, veterans. So anyway, there was some news from this town of Goodyear about the chief of the police department and a few other officers. There was a resignation. There were some people that got fired. Oh, here we got the gang stalker lurker sitting out front right now. It's a nice cool day. Leave the windows open here for Willie. Let's see. Hyper game theory. I always have to do something. I always have to plan out my day, or plan out my events, how I do things. So we got this guy. He's just chilling in the front of the post office on his phone, and then we got this guy over here. He's just parked on the side of the road, and now he's getting out, coming over this way, out of nowhere. Oh, he's got his Punisher shirt on. Oh, wait. All right. Let's see here. I don't know how I'm gonna do this. I'm not supposed to. Oh, here we got more lurkers. They're on their phone, aiming their phone at me. So I need this. so obvious when they're having a fake conversation. They're making like hand gestures that aren't real. Yeah, so when I go in, what they do, this guy right here, make sure that I got it, buddy. Thank you. I like your shirt. You a QAnon follower?
What?
QAnon.
I don't even know what that is.
I was just checking your shirt. I'm doing a live stream right now. I'll show everybody your shirt. So this guy's wearing a Punisher shirt, but he doesn't know what QAnon is.
No.
Look at QAnon.pub.
Okay.
You'll see why I asked you if you're a QAnon fan.
All right.
Yeah, look it up. A lot of good information.
Okay.
Yeah, a lot of good people.
Appreciate it.
Take it easy.
Thanks.
Man, I like that line. Hey, good. Good. I just need to drop these off, but I also wanted to check on the status of this package right here. Can I hand these to somebody? They're all ready to go. Thank you, sir.
Just wait by the door, supervisor.
Cool, thanks.
Still want to wear those shirts after this season?
Oh, yeah, I
Thank you, sir.
They are helping you out, right? They're looking for that back
know.
in?
Yeah.
Did you give them the paperwork or not yet? Let me get somebody.
Sure, Brian.
For this year.
Hey, how you doing? Good, buddy. Getting better every day.
Why do I need a buzz for a supervisor?
You check the rules.
No.
Yeah, so it'll be back up.
Back up. Yeah, you should have. Bill? Or James? I guess so, because they didn't keep anyone here to be able to try to watch.
You ever think you'd be waiting in line at the post office dressed up like a ninja? You know this whole code thing scam.
Probably is.
No, guarantee you it is.
Stuff.
Yeah, it's called social engineering. This is about keeping people from having conversations like we're having. 'Cause if you have to stand 6 feet apart, you sound like Kenny from South Park who wants to talk. They don't want people to talk.
That's a yell.
Yeah.
I hate this thing. I forgot mine. I just got it. Most of
You don't have to.
This one here, the
That's me. Yep.
And so it's still in transit. It's still media mail.
Yeah.
Media mail can take up to 30 days.
Really?
Yeah. That goes the slowest possible way. That's why it's the cheapest service. That's why we normally send books and movies and stuff like that.
I've been doing this for 10 years and I've never had one take this long.
Really, media mail?
Yeah, never
You
in
ever
my life.
order like college textbooks?
It's just a movie, any random,
Yeah.
you know,
No,
I've shipped 50,000 items, so there's been pretty much everything that you
This is
can
the only
imagine.
one that's taken forever.
That's the only one
Yeah.
that's ever taken that long, so. Imagine that.
Of course, go to Illinois, right? Or something like that.
I guess, I don't know. Is that where it says it's going?
I thought so. Yeah, so it's still in transit. I sent them a message to see if they can locate somewhere it's at.
Okay.
So if we want to give you a call when they respond.
Okay. Do you,
You have
yeah.
service?
Here, I'll write it down for you.
No, some get there within a week, and then some just take forever. I don't know why.
Yeah, 10 years I've never had one take over 3 weeks.
Yep. All right. What's your name?
Mike Barden, B-A-R-D-E-N. Well, you're at it, write down my website. You can get some good information there. I think you've talked to me before.
Talking to Bill?
Yeah,
The reporter, right?
I am, yeah. I'm a citizen journalist, yeah. Yep. Did I give you a card?
Yeah.
Okay. You gotta keep up on that.
Talking to Avondale.
Well, possibly. Possibly, yeah.
Yeah, we're just
So,
waiting.
yeah, talk about,
Okay.
You're waiting to get up or are you doing it?
different things like that. Weaponized systems used against us, contracts, the post office has, FBI Infraguard, eBay, a bunch of eBay executives just got arrested.
What's your address?
For exactly what I was 7 eBay executives. Organized stalking, harassment.
Some other CEO did too.
There's 12,000 CEOs that have resigned and stepped down, been removed over the last 4 years. More than any in history. There's also 193,000 silver diamonds and 40,000 open diamonds that are getting ready to be served and change our entire country as we know it. Oh, really? Watch.
They like to cover stuff.
I've been talking about this stuff for 3 years, and a lot of stuff people tell me, "Ah, you're crazy." I talk about directed energy weapons.
Well, I believe it.
Yeah, well, the Department of Defense just came out and acknowledged the use of directed energy weapons
Just how long it took
a
them
year
to
after
acknowledge
I was
51.
talking about it. And so several different things that people were like, "Oh, you're crazy, you're a conspiracy theorist," have now been verified, and people have been
Hey, I'm all into
arrested.
that.
Should check it out, man. I'm not doing this for attention or fame or anything. I'm doing it because I swore an oath to the Constitution to protect the people of our country. And a lot of us have been, for decades, been put into slavery, financial slavery, central banking, Stasi systems like the Stasi Germany, Stasi Germans. You ever heard of the Stasi police? Stasi police. Yeah, that came here.
Oh, no,
And
I believe that.
that's
Oh, yeah.
how I was targeted, and they run. You can't verify or you can't admit it, but the post office is one of the. I mean, it's not just post office. It's
Joking around, I say that like
It's-
a perfect surveillance thing. You get every house
post
in-
office, FedEx, UPS. I mean, it's everywhere. FBI Infraguard has 400 corporations that they partner with that are on the Fortune 500. So that's how big it is. That's just corporations they partner with. So yeah, it's big. I don't want to stand here and waste all your time right now. I got the dog in the truck anyway. So, but I talk to everybody because it's important. Even some of the people that are involved in the stalking and harassment towards me, I'll just stop and I'll talk with them instead of letting them trigger me like they're supposed to. But this is like what I'm explaining is why we've seen the uptick in mass shootings since 2013. Right after they updated watch listing guidance in 2013, all this street theater and all the organized stalking harassment, the mass shootings skyrocketed more than we've ever had. And that's what it was created for social engineering. So the second that something happened, they could get on the news and go, "Guns are bad, take away all the guns." So it's the problem, reaction, solution paradigm. They're creating the problem and then saying, "We've got the solution." And check out my website again. I do interviews with former CIA, FBI, NSA.
Yeah, that's pretty much CIA handbook. I read it through and get their way of going.
And FBI, yeah, they're responsible for most of the false flags that we've seen. I mean, Pearl Harbor. I'm telling you, yeah, that's verified. Yeah, so it goes way back.
It's way not.
Yeah. So long story short, they're not happy with me talking about all this stuff. So I suffered for it. Lost my house in California. Yeah, it's like a country song. Yeah, lost my house, lost my yeah.
Get onto that too, right?
Actually, I better go back to my truck before I lose my dog. So good talking to you, man. Thanks for listening. Have a good day.
I'm checking on this. I'll give you a call.
All right. Okay. So I guess I technically wasn't recording people or areas in the post office. I don't know. I don't fucking care really. Wow, look at this guy over here. Doing some four-wheel driving. What's up, Willis? All right, everybody. All right, well, that guy was helpful, kind of. So media mail can take up to 30 days. Like I said, I've shipped 50,000 packages on eBay. I don't know, a few thousand through media mail, and I've never once had anything take almost a month to arrive. So whatever. Willis, you guard the truck for us, buddy? Good boy. Yeah, so I think I stopped short when I was talking to you guys about the police here in Goodyear. So there was a police chief and some other officers here in Goodyear that resigned or were removed for using fake license plates in community policing, which, if you've watched my channel for the last few years or many of my videos at all, I've talked about how these people that stalk and harass me, they'll use different license plates to send messages, basically to repeat your life. They give you a narrative of your own life, what you're talking about at your house. Like, I dropped my daughter off at her friend Rainey's house one day. This is just an example I use. It happens almost like every day. But I dropped her off at Rainey's house, and as I'm leaving the neighborhood, they've got somebody pulling in front of me, slam on the brakes right in front of me, and their license plate says Rainey, spelled exactly the way that her friend spells her name. And that type of thing happens over and over. So, like I was saying, hey, there's Goodyear PD right there. Goodyear? Yeah, Goodyear. Yeah, chief and a few other people in the Goodyear police department were removed for using fake license plates for community policing. You can go on my Twitter at MichaelBarden8, MichaelBarden, the number 8, and I've tweeted that article recently. It was in several media outlets, smaller ones. The bigger media outlets don't report on stuff like that. But that verifies what I've been talking about for years now. At least that one case. If anybody knows of any other situations like that where police departments have had any kind of repercussions for the community policing, the Stasi policing I was explaining to that guy back there, let me know. But so there's one thing that's been verified that I've been talking about, that I would get a lot of trolls, a lot of gaslighting, a lot of, people saying, "You're crazy. Who are you? What makes you so important to think that somebody would take the time to make a fake license plate and follow you around and repeat what's going on in your life with that license plate?" Well, I don't know. I'd like to know that answer, but you don't get due process. Nobody notifies you and says, "Hey, you've been convicted of a crime. You have done this or that. We're going to start doing this to you." That doesn't happen when you become targeted. It just starts happening, and then you try to figure it out. And they want you to go to the police who are involved in it, go to a psychologist, go to somebody and ask for help, and then they gaslight you. And then it gets worse and worse and worse. And they want you to go nuts. They want you to act out in violence or, do something crazy. And then they're just waiting to throw that in the newspapers, the news. Another mental case goes nuts, blah, blah, blah. Use that for social engineering when they created the whole situation. Just telling that guy at the post office want to take away people's firearms. They want to create the problem. We're here to help. Which, let's call that domestic terrorism. So that's one thing that was verified that I've been talking about for years. People tried to call me crazy. Police removed for doing that exact same thing. Here's another one. If you didn't hear me talking to the guy there, I've been talking about directed energy weapons. And not just me. I mean, thousands of targeted individuals have complained of directed energy weapon attacks personally on them. Pressure in your head, getting hit in the chest, zaps and shocks in your fingers and toes and your side, all over your body. Just electronic harassment. And, you know, we don't know exactly where it's coming from, how they do it, but it's most plausible to think that there's some kind of directed energy weapon that they aim at you, or from a satellite, or from a close by house, whatever. You know, we're trying to figure this thing out, why this is happening. We don't know the exact reason, but we know that it's happening. It's happened to me before. I thought I was having a heart attack. A lot of different things. So talked about that kind of stuff too. Same reaction from the online trolls, the comments and videos. Take some psychotropic or SSRI drugs. They don't call them that. They just say, get on your meds. Those things don't exist. Directed energy weapons is Star Wars. What do you think, you live in a movie? And then last week, the Department of Defense comes out and makes a statement that directed energy weapons not only exist, but are being used as a weapon against United States citizens and the military. So, we've got that. Here's another one that the biggest one. Well, they're all equally important. I would talk about how people will follow me, break into my house, move items around, surveil me, repeat my conversations, do all kinds of weird stuff to try to make you feel like you're going crazy when you know that these aren't organic events, and you try to explain them, and they're so ridiculous, the things that these people do, that it makes you sound a little bit off when you're trying to explain them. Well, it's not your fault that they're so weird, it's the people that are doing them. So gang stalking, organized stalking and harassment, same thing. What people online, on Twitter, on YouTube, comments, in person. What makes you so important? Why would somebody do that to you? You're not important enough for somebody to spend that much time and effort. Blah, 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 over and over. Just a few months ago, 7 executives, high-up executives at eBay, were arrested by the Department of Justice for exactly the same thing that I've been complaining about, documenting and reporting for 3 years. Me and thousands of other people that are being gaslit, told they're crazy, being put on the 30-day hold because they're trying to report their life being intruded. And lo and behold, the Department of Justice arrests 7 executives at eBay for gang stalking. They didn't use that exact term, but what they explained in the report is the exact same thing that most of us have complained about. So eBay executives from California and from New York didn't like that a couple in Massachusetts was writing a newsletter reporting the truth about eBay and some of their corrupt practices, some of the things they do. eBay has a contract with FBI InfraGard, just like I was explaining to that guy. And they're involved in this as well. I've reported it for years now. So the head of safety and security, the head of global intelligence, I don't remember the other positions, but they were literally getting on planes from California, New York, other locations, flying to Massachusetts. Here, check this out. Havre, US. Aver US. Aver Health is a drug testing facility that's owned by Rothschild Holdings. So anyway, they just happen to show up everywhere I go. These people from eBay were flying to Massachusetts to literally break into these people's house, put surveillance cameras, follow them around in rental cars, stalking and harassing them. Prior to that, they sent to their house. They sent a funeral wreath, a book on how to survive the death of a loved one, a bloody pig mask, cockroaches, these really intimidating, disgusting things to, you know, like the mafia would do, to put these people into a state of panic, a state of fear, when all they were doing was writing a newsletter, shining light on the things that eBay were doing. And that's not all they did. They did a lot of other crazy stuff too. So there's 3 things I just explained that have been verified, that I've been documenting and reporting. Other targeted individuals have been documenting and reporting for years now. And all of that's been verified to be true within the last few months. So one of the questions I have is, how many people that have been put on a mandatory 30-day hold in a mental health hospital, those people have been that have had their lives destroyed just for trying to report a crime. And it's a crime. It's a violation of U.S. Code 18, Section 241, 242, deprivation of rights under color of law, and 2261, stalking. There's laws for this shit for a reason, right? Why would they make a law if it doesn't happen? Look those up. U.S. Code 18, Section 241, Section 242, and 2261. Print them out, read them, highlight the parts that resonate with you, and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. Those laws were written to keep things like this from happening. And they just use the mental health system as a weapon, basically, to protect this whole situation. Okay, while I'm at it, I was talking about the police department and how some of these police departments are involved in Stasi type policing. I'm here to bash the police, like this guy, I'm not here to bash these guys. It's Avondale. I'm here to talk about how our systems have been infiltrated and are operating unconstitutionally. This type of thing has nothing to do with constitutional rights and freedom, and is the most un-American thing that I could imagine happening here. This is not what America is about. So I don't want to see the police defunded. I want to see the Stasi federal programs that were inserted into our 3-letter agencies and then into our local policing systems stop. I want the funding for that to stop. Then police that are high up, that are complicit and understand the final outcome of this whole thing, what's supposed to happen, I want them to be removed, and I want constitutional peace officers to be put in place to replace those people. And we're seeing that happen in some areas. Entire departments are resigning. And it's not just because of the mayor or whatever. It's because they've been complicit in these programs. But police in LEIU, they want to protect their brand. Basically, they don't want people to lose trust in police in general. So they just won't to doing a lot of this stuff. And it's everywhere, just the police. That Soros infiltrated all aspects of our country to divide and conquer, get people fighting against each other. Got a medic over here. All right, listen, I'm gonna leave the truck going, buddy. Let's see here. All right, I mean, as long as you guys are hanging out with me, might as well go in the store. Thank you. All right. What's up, buddy? ID, yep. I need to run voting polls here.
Alright.
You guys are already trained. All you gotta do, scan the ID, prove people are a U.S. citizen to vote.
Bro, I'm telling you, it's easy.
What's that?
I said it's easy.
Do is like set the things up here. You guys could, yeah, you can vote while you're getting all your stuff.
Okay, guys, on my right side. Do need to make it more convenient. I mean, it is already. It's 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. But just little youngsters, you know?
The voting process?
Yeah.
It's easy if they're not trying to distract everybody and tell everybody, oh, it's too scary to go vote. You gotta mail it in. Okay. Take it in. All right. Let's see. All right. Now there's a reason why I'm leaving this thing on. I know it might be boring for some people, but there's a reason why I do stuff. Was there anything else I needed to tell you guys? Let's see here. Willis, what am I missing here? You guys like my Q sticker? In the back here, QAnon. The thing that the media is freaking out about, calling everybody right-wing white supremacists, which I've never seen Q one time post anything that was even remotely close to being racist or violent. Anything. It's the place that I've received the most honest information literally any time in my life. Things that I've personally experienced that were verified by Q. Things I understand that I've been through that a lot of people wouldn't understand. Some of the drops. I see a drop and go, oh my God, these guys know. This is amazing. And then I see people responsible for those things being removed from the FBI, from the CIA, Department of Homeland Security, Inspector General getting indicted for defrauding the U.S. government. Looking at Paul Manafort for possibly $2 trillion of fraud. What would cost $2 trillion? Maybe a huge organized stalking and harassment campaign where millions of people were paid to drive around and make a Truman Show for certain individuals. And that's what the whole thing is about, is that couple of $1 trillion of profit to fund these compartmentalized groups. Who knows? Time to tell. So anyway, yeah, right there. It's my Q. You see it? Right there. Right between me and Willie. Alright. I'm just about home. I'm gonna check out some of your questions and try to answer some of those, and then call it a live stream. Let's see, we've been just about an hour here. Hopefully this has been educational, possibly entertaining. It turned into way more than a story about the time I met Jimmy Carter and Warren Sapp. But believe it or not, it all ties together in the long run. It's been going on for a long time. Long time. All right. Let's see here. Oh, you know. No, you know what I'll say? I was going to talk about something else. I'll save that for another live stream. Let some more time pass before I talk about that. All right, let's go in and check some of these messages, Willie. Some of these comments. Let's see what folks have to say. Let's see what folks have to say, Willie. Come on. So there's about 40 something days until the election. That should be interesting. Hope you guys